30 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM. WMBA also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Rush Hour is just getting started on Beaver County Radio. It's time for Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news of the top and bottom of each hour. You're in the Fast Lane. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
And welcome back. It is 11:12 in Beaver County. And this time of day, I'm just going to kind of like sit back and play comedy relief because it's time for Bus Talk. DJ Frye in the house and visiting this morning. And who'd you bring in tow with you today, DJ?
Oh, Frank, I brought one of my buddies here, one of the most important pieces to the Frye Transportation staff and puzzle with us. We have Steve Yount, who Steve's been with us for, I think, 8 years now, maybe even longer than that. But Steve's title, he wears many hats, but his most important title to our team is Safety Director. So I look forward to him sharing a lot of wonderful stories because Steve's been in the bus industry for many years. But Steve is well-traveled throughout Beaver County, very familiar face to many. We call him the unofficial mayor of Beaver in Bridgewater. But, I'm proud always to call him a friend. But more importantly, he is one of the biggest pieces to our team at Frye Transportation. So been looking forward to this opportunity to bring him in for many, many months now, Frank. But before we start picking on Steve, want to welcome our listeners back to the monthly school bus talk here in Beaver County. And also, tonight's a big night, high school football.
Yes, it is.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't kick off by, stating the important game of the Valley this week, and that is Beaver Central Valley.
That's going to be a heck of a ball game,
and I know our staff's going to be down there. WBVP will be down there. And, these games are tough for me because I think our listeners know we provide transportation for both districts. And both districts mean an awful lot to me personally. Mm-hmm. So when these games happen, Frank, at one point in time years ago, I used to whoever was the home team, that was the color I would wear. And then the visiting team I would hear about it that night. I'd get text messages and emails from administrators and board members from the following week about it. So then I just started using neutral colors. But I wish I had $1 for every time I was asked this week, what sideline are you standing on tonight down at Pat Tarquinio Field, and what collared shirt will you have on? So I'm going with either pink or I'm going with black, but it has to be a neutral color. But I look forward to a really, really good game tonight down there with the Beaver Bobcats and the Central Valley Warriors. Yeah, two really well-coached teams.
Yeah, and it's one of many games that's going on in the Valley this weekend. It was kind of tough to pick a game, and since we haven't had Central Valley on and Beaver yet this year, that's why we figured we'll go there. You've got New Brighton at Riverside tonight. That's going to be another good game. Rochester's on the road at Laurel this weekend. Yeah.
It's nice to see that group back on the field this week.
Right.
Yeah, I know Coach Phillips was really bummed out. I know the whole district and community were bummed out that due to injuries last week, they weren't able to really, I think they were hosting Neshannock.
Correct.
So hopefully they get time and find some spot and a date there later on in this year to make that game up. But I know Coach Phillips was pretty bummed out, and it's nice to see the Rams back on the gridiron this evening.
Absolutely. So you're going to have that one, and then you've got Beaver Falls and Mohawks. Beaver Falls looks like they're in position maybe for Jim Mooney to get his first win as a coach at Beaver Falls.
Right, and I watched much of that game, and you guys did a fantastic job as always broadcasting the Golden Beavers and the Tigers last week at Reeve Stadium. And I tell you what, they look good. They're explosive. Mm-hmm. Beaver Falls, they can score at any snap. They can take it. So I look forward to them bouncing back this week.
Well, and the thing about Beaver Falls is they're getting better each and every week.
Sure. I mean, young team, young roster.
Very young. So a couple weeks, they got the big one coming up, though, here in I think it's 3 or 4 weeks against New Brighton, which will be the jug game. That's always a big one.
The big jug one, huh?
Yeah, so we'll be at that one as well. So I think we made a monster out of one of your friends, though.
Who's that?
Mr. Kell.
Oh,
yes. Okay. State Rep Josh Kell. We let him do a little bit of color during the Western Beaver and Southside game that first night with the lights, and Yeah, Josh is like, okay, I want to do this. He keeps texting me. Last Friday, he's texting me as he's watching the game. He goes, okay, I want to do this again. When can I do this? So,
Well, I know Josh, unfortunately, is not listening right now because I know where he's at. I just actually spoke to him not too long ago. He's at a meeting right now. But I will tell you this. Here's a little secret to you, Frank, and to our listeners. I actually was sitting next to him in the press box that entire game. And he sent me to the concession stand multiple times to get him French fries and drinks and whatnot. But yeah, my children were there. He had a couple of his, 25 kids there. But it was a nice evening, and Western Beaver did a fantastic job the first night having those lights there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had something else going on that day. We were doing something for Push Beaver County that day. But, yeah, Josh was texting me the whole time. I don't know if he's seen during the game. He's texting. That was me. He was texting. Okay. He's like, oh, I love this. I want to keep doing this. And I was like, all right, cool.
He was good at it. We really enjoyed it, too. But and you know what? And last but not least, before we get to Steve here, I know Hopewell takes on a really tough Avonworth team tonight, game. Too. So that's another really good one there.
Hopewell's good for the first time, and it's been quite some time since Hopewell's been this good.
Quarterback's phenomenal. The well-coached team there. Right. And it's nice to see the Vikings kind of rounding that bend and getting back to that traditional stalwart here in the local football scene.
Well, one thing I do want to throw out before we get to Steve, too, is, and I know you're not one for, you're kind of a quiet kept guy, but that big situation we were talking about at Western Beaver with the lights, that couldn't have happened without Josh. It couldn't have happened without you as well. Yeah. So that's awesome. What you did and helped him out there. And, Rob Postapak, he's a great guy. Like we've told you 100 times, he's the smart one. When we were lab partners in high school, he was the one that you see why he's the superintendent. I'm sitting here. So, but still, I'm sure Western Beaver and everybody appreciates that. Western Beaver has lights now. That's awesome.
Well, home's always home. Right. I bleed purple and gold. And, when you played there, it was a huge advantage. You loved playing on Saturday mornings, in part because you enjoyed going Friday night football to see the team that you're going to play the following week. But it was a big advantage. But then it's time. It was time, and our family really wanted to get involved, as much as we possibly could. But the important part to this conversation is the simple fact for our listeners: if it wasn't for you, I don't know if Dr. Postapak would have made it through chemistry. Is that true?
I don't know. He kept me from burning the place down. That's all I know.
I can only imagine you two figuring some of these elements and things out. But again, thank you to our listeners, our loyal listeners. And today we have Steve Yount here. And I asked Steve, I said, come on. I want you to, let's talk about a lot of the fun stuff, the crazy stuff that we see on cameras. And just to kind of peel back the onion a little bit here and explain, Steve, if a lot of you pass a lot of our vehicles every single day. There's 200-plus vehicles out there. A lot of staff behind the wheel, sitting in the passenger seats. Every single one of those staff members, every little stop sign, every little red light, it's because of this guy. It's because everyone passes through Steve. Every little stop comes across Steve's computer, his cell phone. He monitors every little element and aspect of our company when it comes to safety and performance. So I wanted to make sure he had an opportunity to come here on the radio today. I know he's really busy today, and I think this is the last thing he needed me is to kind of pull him out of the office today to do this, but I know he's excited. But I also want him to let the listeners know we've had a really large amount of newcomers to our industry that are mid-60s who are coming to drive school van, finding their way through the CDL process and literally telling us, boy, I wish I knew about this sooner. I didn't realize how easy this was to obtain that CDL. I really didn't realize how enjoyable this semi-retired, career is, how rewarding it is. So, I know our listeners hear and see me a lot, but it's always nice for something like that to be shared and echoed throughout the valley from somebody like Steve. So thank you, Steve, for coming here today. And
my pleasure.
And, again, we don't want to close up our show till you tell a couple funny stories because I know you see a lot of them.
I'm going to have to dig deep to try to come up with some of those, but I'll see what I can do for you.
So, Steve, before we go to our first break here, I do want to kind of, limp into this show by you telling our listeners a little bit about who you are. I know if they're watching on Facebook Live right now, they're like, I know that guy because you're such a familiar face here in the Valley.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that know me to see me. I do enjoy the work I do at Frye Transportation and trying to keep everybody safe. It's been a long road through life. I spent 35 years in the cemetery business, ended up running Swickley Cemetery for a number of years, and then I went into semi-retirement, and I started driving a school bus in semi-retirement, and then Mr. Frye offered me a full-time position, and there I was back to working again, which is my passion anyway. You got to do something between when the sun comes up and when it goes down, and I enjoy what I do. I get to do a lot of things, but mostly I like trying to keep everybody safe. It's a big responsibility to take care of everybody's children, and we take that job very serious. We take our training very serious, and we take everything very serious, which is why this guy buys the best stuff out there, the best equipment. We keep new equipment on the road. We're totally committed to safety.
Well, hey, I appreciate those kind words, Steve. I do, we're going to go into our first break here, but on the other backside of this break, I do want to get more into your travels to Frye Transportation. Talk a little bit more about the, when you work down at the...
Beaver Cemetery.
Absolutely. And he's also, you're the proud owner of the board shop in Bridgewater. So you're listening to Beaver County Bus Talk here on Beaver County Radio. This is DJ Frye, and on the backside of the commercial break, we're going to get more into Steve's bio and also talk about the CDL process.
In these unprecedented times, staying informed with accurate information is a necessity, especially in an emergency. Believe it or not, the power to stay informed and be aware on important news alerts in your area is right at your fingertips. Beaver County Emergency Services urges you to sign up for instant mobile message alerts today. It's quick and easy, and once you enroll, Amber Alerts, weather emergencies, and many valuable safety, warning, and important news bulletin updates will arrive as text messages in your cell phone. Sign up now by visiting beavercountypa.gov. It's free, and it could be a lifesaver for you or somebody else in trouble. Put your fingertips to work and turn your phone into an instant notification alert device. Beaver County Emergency Services, along with other partner organizations, is pleased to make instant notifications available to you. So sign up today.
Snack wraps are back at your local McDonald's. A tortilla filled with white meat chicken, lettuce, and cheese with your choice of ranch or spicy sauce. Available a la carte or in a 2-snack wrap combo meal. Only at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Everybody knows that credit unions are a better deal because they are nonprofit and member-owned institutions. But did you know that at Freedom United Federal Credit Union, we have over 150 sponsor groups and almost 7,000 members? This is Kaylin Smith, and I just discovered some of this myself. I'll bet you didn't know that all of our members receive an automatic $3,000 accidental death life insurance policy just for joining our family. It is true. You really can get something for nothing. Here's another fun fact. The Rochester office on Adams Street used to be home to the American Legion, and that's where all those fabled Legion dances took place. Whatever the reason, come see us today. Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Raise a glass at the Beaver Area Chamber of Commerce's annual Wine Fest, Saturday, September 27 on 3rd Street in downtown Beaver. Enjoy an afternoon of exquisite wine tastings, delicious food pairings, and shopping with local stores and vendors. Pre-sale tickets cost $30, which includes wine tastings and a commemorative wine glass. A $75 pre-sale VIP package offers reserved seating, a private tasting from a premier winery, a charcuterie box, and live music. Day of admission is $35. Tickets are limited, so secure yours early. The first 1,000 guests get a complimentary wine bag. For tickets, visit eventbrite.com and search under Beaver Wine Fest.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
What's everyone in Beaver County talking about? It's Beaver County Radio, brought to you exclusively by Frye Transportation. Beaver County Radio and Frye Transportation, a winning team in Beaver County.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester. You're driving in the fast lane with Frank Sparks on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. You can also stream live on beavercountyradio.com.
I'm just going to kind of sit here and hang out. I'm enjoying the conversation this morning. It's Bus Talk with DJ Frye here on Beaver County Radio on driving in the fast lane for your Friday morning. So it's a good day to sit back and just talk and have fun and not have to listen to the mumble jumble of the world today.
Isn't that the truth, huh? Steve, you're just tuning in. We have Steve Yount, the safety director at Frye Transportation, with us this morning. And on the backside of that commercial break, Steve was getting into a little bit of his background and his travels to Frye Transportation. And yet you touched on something, Steve, that it's always been fascinating to me, but maybe as well to our listeners. Your years at the cemetery. Can you tell us a little bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, my path through life has been pretty twisted, like a lot of people, a lot of twists and turns. I'm a displaced steel worker. I worked at Crucible Steel way back when, and transitioned from that into the cemetery business, and I spent 35 years doing that. Now, things were a lot different back when I started. When I was at Beaver Cemetery, when I first started there, it was before string trimmers were invented, and we used to have to trim around the headstones with hand clippers to trim the high grass. So technology's done a lot of great things for the world today. And then, I went on to school, got my education, found my way into the cemetery or the school transportation business, which I find quite interesting and quite enjoyable. And like a lot of our drivers who have come on, they find that it's a wonderful way to make some extra money, and they wish they would have known about it sooner. They wish they knew how much fun it was, how enjoyable it was, and how rewarding it was. And they also found out how easy it is to get that license. We go through training. We train all of our staff on site. New drivers have to do 14 hours in a classroom, and they're state mandated 6 hours in a bus, but actually that ends up being about 30 before they're completely trained. But I've had so many of the drivers that we have trained that tell me, boy, I wish I knew about this a long time ago. I would have been doing it for a long time. So my oldest daughter is a school teacher. I think that happened because all her life she heard me say if I had it to do over again, I'd go back to school to be a teacher. And whenever I retired finally out of the cemetery business, at that point I wasn't ready to get into a classroom. So I decided to get into school transportation because it's kind of the same schedule. It's that whole summer off that I was looking for. But now I work full time, so much for that.
And it may not be a classroom filled of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, but now, Steve at the terminal where his main office is, there's a classroom there of adults. So Steve, at any particular point in time of the calendar year, he averages 4 or 5 classes a year. Steve, maybe more than that. Yeah, but they're classrooms of recertification training. So that love and passion of that, what your daughter tells you all the time about teaching, he is by far, and I'm saying it not because he's in the room, but this is how people look and know of him on the state level. He is by far the best CDL instructor there is in the state, and we are blessed to have him on our team.
Yeah, and I have a new driver class next week, so if anybody's out there and interested, get a hold of us. We'll try to get you in that class.
Absolutely.
So he is living out his dream. He's teaching.
Which
was your dream.
I am. Yeah. So, eventually you end where you're supposed to be, right?
That's right.
And one thing about Steve, and I know we've kind of transitioned into the CDL, and it's great for our listeners. If anybody's interested in a little bit more about the CDL, feel free to reach out to us anytime. Stop by any of our 4 terminals, and hopefully we can get you in front of Steve. And he makes it extremely fun, extremely enjoyable. Steve, 2 things I want to just share with our listeners. One, I think out of 40 road tests in the last 7 years, we've had only 1 driver that had it, or maybe 2 drivers that had to go back up there, Frank, to take it a second time out of like 40, 50 drivers, which is unheard of. He trained one of the, and I think she still to this day is the only one who had such an impressive score. The state ended up calling us and congratulating us on, she had a near perfect CDL score. But the last bit, it's about him personally. I can't remember exactly how long this went on, but Steve had something going like 20 consecutive months to where either he snowboarded or waterboard, like in the
waterboard.
river.
That's a form of torture. Wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding.
So
right.
yeah,
Okay.
my passion is board sports. I currently have a consecutive streak of being on either a wakeboard or a snowboard at a point in a given month. Whenever I get it to November this year, that streak will be 14 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
So come Saturday morning, if you need to get hold of Steve, he's either at the river or he's at Seven Springs.
Yep.
So,
All right. That sounds fun.
for those listeners tuned in, this is DJ Frye on this month's School Bus Talk. On the back end of this break, I want to get back into a little bit more of CDL, but also for those listeners, everybody has a story that they can remember on the school bus. Feel free to call in, share your story with us. When we come back, Steve and I both are going to share some of our funny stories and some of the stuff that we see on camera every single day here.
Ready to go? No, you want to do some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Friday, September 19th of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that yesterday evening, agents from both the ATF and the FBI working in a joint investigation were involved in a fatal shooting incident. According to officials, the shooting happened on Wagaman Street at the Linmar Terrace housing complex in Aliquippa around 6:20 p.m. yesterday. Aliquippa Mayor Dwan Walker confirmed to an ATF agent that an ATF agent shot a boy that went to Aliquippa High School. Sources told KDKA the boy was shot in the head. According to the Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office, 18-year-old Kendrick Curtis was flown to Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh and died there shortly after 3 a.m. this morning. Aliquippa School District Superintendent Dr. Philip Woods said that a trauma support team will be on site at the Aliquippa Junior-Senior High School today when students arrive. Aliquippa Junior-Senior High School students can also go to the library there to find support resources throughout today as they need it. A 2025 to 2026 four-show season from the Beaver Valley Community Concert Association and Live on Stage Incorporated will start next week on Tuesday, September 23rd at Beaver Falls Middle School Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. with a concert from the Mid-Atlantic Men. The payment is cash or check only, and the cost at the door to see this Mid-Atlantic Men show is $25, with $5 being the cost at the door for students of Beaver Falls. The vocal trio of the Mid-Atlantic Men, represented by 2 American men and 1 British man, will sing iconic songs from acts like Billy Joel, Queen, and more. According to a release from AAA yesterday, this year's analysis shows that the total cost of owning and operating a new vehicle is $11,577 or $964.78 per month, a $719 decline from 2024. AAA recommends that buyers should consider the costs of this price decline, which include finance charges that are lower, a shift toward vehicle options that are more affordable, fuel prices that are reduced, and depreciation, to choose the best model of vehicle and type of vehicle for their budget. Categories driving costs this year and car buying advice recommended from AAA can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. Emiliano's Mexican restaurant and bar in the south side of Pittsburgh is now closed permanently, according to a Facebook post yesterday from Emiliano's Mexican restaurant and bar. They have weighed difficult decisions over the past year about how to serve you best in an increasingly challenging business climate. The Emiliano's Mexican restaurant and bar locations in Cranberry, Bethel Park, and Gibsonia are still open. And according to acting U.S. Attorney Troy Ravetti, a man has been charged with wire fraud and computer fraud for allegedly stealing over $235,000 from a university in western Pennsylvania. Following a United States request for extradition, United Kingdom authorities arrested Farouk Adekunle Adepoju on Monday, who is a Nigerian citizen residing in the United Kingdom. According to the indictment, Adepoju allegedly accessed a protected computer belonging to a construction company working for the university. Adepoju also created a change of rules through that access that was unauthorized within the email account of an employee of that university and registered a domain that was spoofed to make himself as the identity of another employee.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Lots of sunshine expected today. We'll see highs near 84 and overnight lows around 57. Increasing clouds tomorrow with a chance of some much-needed rain and possible thunderstorms in the evening. Look for highs near 84 and lows around 61. And mostly sunny on Sunday with a chance of showers and thunderstorms beginning in the afternoon. We'll see highs in the mid-80s and lows around 62. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Friday, September 19th of 2025, at 37 minutes after 11, we've got a temperature of 75 degrees with mostly cloudy skies here in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Hot coffee in the morning and Frank Sparks. Now you're in the fast lane. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and streaming live on beavercountyradio.com.
It's 11:38 in Beaver County. Just as a reminder, we do have Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon coming up next, followed by the Hugh Hewitt Show. And then tonight, 6:30 p.m., it is high school football as we travel to right down over the hill, Gypsy Glen, and to Pat Tarquinio Field as the Beaver Bobcats will be hosting Central Valley Warriors tonight. And then after the game, make sure you tune in to Mike Kazadi and Ryan Garazunas as they will have the Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show as well. But right now, we're talking Bus Talk today, and DJ Frye's in for his monthly appearance here on Bus Talk, and I think we're going to get into some good stuff now, right? Like funny stories?
The funny stories.
Right.
You know, so the majority of this stuff that we see is not radio appropriate, to be honest with you. That's for the book that we'll all publish in, in 20, 30 years.
Gotcha.
But, one of the reasons why what we do is so fulfilling and rewarding is you get to meet so many wonderful people, not only the ones you share an office with or members of your team, but you get to really get involved with the community and meet so many wonderful families, so many wonderful children, right? Along the way, teachers, administrators. So there's always funny stories and great moments, right? But again, the vast majority of the stuff that we see, that's going to be for a book later down the road. But I will tell you this, before the internet existed, the school bus was truly the internet. You learned a lot of things on the school bus, right, Frank? I'm sure there's things that you can remember back riding the school bus, right? And I can share, I can agree that there's a lot of things that I learned on the school bus back in the day. One of my favorite stories, right, and this is, appropriate for the moment, it was not in a story that I was involved with, but one that was shared with me. So Mr. Shank one time, and that's Sonny Shank, who was a pioneer here locally in the bus industry, he told me about one of the things that he enjoyed the most was the interaction with the students. And one of these particular mornings, he finally talked his wife after all these years to drive a school bus. And she kept pushing back, no, it's such a large vehicle, I'm a little nervous, here and that. And finally, he convinces her on a Tuesday morning to go drive this school bus. And she hops in this bus and she heads down one of the backcountry roads of Ohioville, and out runs in front of her a deer. And here she is. She picked up her first student, thinks this is going to be okay, and a deer runs out, and unfortunately, she bumps the deer. Deer's right in the middle of the road. So she's sitting there thinking, oh boy, what do I do? Student walks right up to her and says, Mrs. Shank, I'll take it from here. Gets out of the bus, pulls the deer off of the side of the road. So that story, I don't think that would happen nowadays, fortunately or unfortunately, but that tells you a little bit about some of the things that we see so early in the morning. But Mrs. Shank always teased her about that story because it was her very first day, 30 minutes on her first route. She bumps a deer, she gets nervous, and the student became a really good friend of the family. Said, I got it, Mrs. Shank, and really just walked out there like it was just normal as could be. And pulled the deer off. But Steve, I'm sure you've seen a couple similar situations too.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of interesting interactions between the buses or near misses with deer and the other animal populations in the area. Not really so many funny stories. An odd story. Driver reported to me a couple years ago. Said, check out my camera at 7:02 in the morning, and I looked at the camera, and they were over in Center Township. And there was a police car there and a couple other cars. And there were two gentlemen standing along the side of the road, and there was a fawn standing beside them. There was no adult deer around anywhere. And the fawn was just standing there like it was a pet, like it didn't know what to do. Everybody seemed confused. The driver was certainly confused when they rode by it. But, yeah. But one of the pleasurable things of driving school transportation is you get to watch every sunrise, and the sunrises are spectacular around here. There's a lot of rewarding things about the business, but I think the most rewarding thing is what DJ was touching on, is the interaction with the community, that you get to meet so many wonderful people. And just this past weekend, I was at a fundraising event down at Mario's 410 and ran into a couple that I know from DJ's neighborhood. A couple of their neighbors were with them, and the one lady who I didn't know said to me, she realized who I was. She said, oh, you're the bus driver. You used to drive the softball team. My daughter loved it when you drove the bus. And so much so that when I was leaving, my friend chased me down. She's like, we got to get a picture because I have to send it to her daughter. So I tell those stories in the classroom too. I don't tell those stories to try to paint myself as an interesting person or important person. I try to paint the picture of these are the interactions every one of our drivers will have whenever they treat everybody the way we want them to treat them, with kindness and everything else. You will have so many rewards coming back to you. It's amazing.
Another one, just to add to that, and it involves an animal again. Our first couple years at Beaver, the buses would parked outside, and that was new to us, Frank. Up to that point, all of our buses were parked inside of a garage, believe it or not. And remember, we got this call early in the morning, and majority of the high school runs, depending on the time of the year, you start that route or you're doing your pre-trip inspection on that vehicle early in the morning where it's dark, and you got flashlights or whatever the case may be. The lights in the parking lot help you with that. You turn the lights on in the bus. Well, on this particular day, driver did his pre-trip and went through it and just is, like a training video, did it perfectly. And again, the bus has a lot of blind spots inside it, and he's looking and nothing's left, nothing's out of place, everything seems fine, the vehicle passes it pre-trip inspection. He starts on with his route. Well, 3 or 4 stops has been made, and this little girl comes up and says, Mr. Bob, there's a raccoon on the bus. And Mr. Bob's like, what did he mean there's a raccoon on the bus? So Bob secures the bus, and sure enough, a raccoon was on the bus. So that basically turned into us adopting a policy where you got to make sure your lunch or your garbage can in your vehicle is emptied after every afternoon run, because those old pesky little creatures, they find their way through those into those buses. But we haven't had a raccoon problem, have we, Steve? And many, after that.
No, we don't have that much anymore. The newer buses, the doors are more secure than they used to be. Yeah, that was one of the things that I had to learn early on. I had been driving a route, a student had left a lunch box, so I just hung it on the gear shift so the next morning I would remember to give it back. When I got in the bus the next morning, the lunchbox was ripped to shreds, and there were remnants of plastic bags and everything because a raccoon had got in the bus and tore the lunch apart. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to return that lunchbox.
I get asked a lot, Frank, and is a little bit of piggybacking on what Steve just said. You know, a lot of people, ask me, what kind of drivers do you have? What kind of careers did they have before? Because we have a couple different bucket of staff members. We have the stay-at-home mom. We have the semi-retired, and we have a bucket there where maybe they worked in a steel mill for 20, 30 years, and basically they've been home for 6 or 7 years, and they decided to come. But it never fails, and Steve would agree to this. It never fails. We hear it all the time. I wish we did this sooner. I wish I knew about this sooner, right? But I'll say this. Our staff is made up of the best people possible. We have many real estate agents. You actively see them. Mr. Bill is one of them, Chip. You see many of our drivers on billboards, not because of who they are behind the wheel for us, but that's what they do out in the community. They're real estate agents. We have a lot of DJs, farmers, photographers. Right. I mean, we have a lot of diversified individuals who work with us, and that's what makes it so unique, this industry, is it allows you to be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. You don't miss any activities whatsoever. And again, I wish I had $1 again for every time somebody says, I wish I did this earlier.
Right. Yeah. So we do pull in quite a diverse group, and we tend to get a lot of younger people too driving, which is not really the standard for the industry. Whenever I take people to get their test, we use a third-party tester for our CDL licensing, and they always want to know, where do you find all these people? Because they wish they could find the same people. But DJ really does a great job of pulling in a lot of the really talented people in the community.
Well, and thank you for bringing that up, but it's really not about me. It's really about our staff. And I know we're up against a break here, but I want to leave our listeners with this. The secret sauce, people ask me all the time, and there's really 3 things. 1, you need to bring and hire really good people. That's number 1. 2, provide a safe and wonderful workplace environment. But number 3, the secret sauce is you make sure they know how much we appreciate them every single day. So, Steve, I want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, being part of our staff. I've been looking forward to the opportunity for you to come on here with our listeners and share a little bit about what you do. But to all our listeners, I really appreciate you tuning in to this month's School Bus Talk with DJ Frye and enjoying, as always, WBVP Radio.
We'll still have more to come. You still got probably about 5 minutes when we get back. We can talk about whatever.
Sounds great.
All right. Be back with more after this.
I have one question. Have you had your Hanks today? If not, what are you waiting for? Visit Hanks Frozen Custard and Mexican Food next to the YMCA today. From their famous assortment of frozen custard to tacos, burritos, taco salads, and more, Hanks Frozen Custard and Mexican is the place to go. Want to skip the line? Order on their website at gotohanks.com. Also on their website, sign up for rewards and score yourself some deals at Hanks. So what are you waiting for? Visit Hanks Frozen Custard and Mexican Food today. Hanks Frozen Custard and Mexican, a Beaver County staple since 1952.
Yankee Trader, Saturday mornings from 10 to noon.
Freedom United Federal Credit Union proudly presents Yankee Trader.
Yankee Trader, buy, sell, or trade.
Yankee Trader is presented by Freedom United Federal Credit Union and in part by Rochester Paving and Seal Coating.
Are you a fan of the historic high school sports history that we have in Beaver County? Beaver County Radio and the Frye Transportation Group are proud to introduce Way Back When. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m., Beaver County Radio will rebroadcast a classic high school game in its entirety. You will hear the call of famous Beaver County radio sports broadcasters from the past and present as they take you way back when. Tune in for the premiere on Sunday, August 24th at 8 p.m. when we go way back to the 2017 Whitfield Championship between Aliquippa and Quaker Valley from the then-named Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Way Back When is presented by the Frye Transportation Group and brought to you by East Rochester and Tusca Shop and Save, the East Rochester True Value, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, and Beaver County Radio.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland opens its 2025-2026 season with the award-winning comedy classic Guys and Dolls, October 3rd through the 12th, sponsored by Clearview Federal Credit Union. For tickets, visit lincolnparkarts.org.
Everybody knows that credit unions are a better deal because they are nonprofit and member-owned institutions. But did you know that at Freedom United Federal Credit Union, we have over 150 sponsor groups and almost 7,000 members? This is Kaylin Smith, and I just discovered some of this myself. I'll bet you didn't know that all of our members receive an automatic $3,000 accidental death life insurance policy just for joining our family. It is true. You really can get something for nothing. Here's another fun fact. The Rochester office on Adams Street used to be home to the American Legion, and that's where all those fabled Legion dances took place. Whatever the reason, come see us today. Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
Got kids? Too much to do? No time to cook? Download the McDonald's app today and get dinner delivered straight to your door from DoorDash. McDonald's makes it easy for you and your family. Download the app today and get exclusive deals and rewards. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
If you need assistance with auto, homeowners, renters, life, and pet insurance, Dan Hoffman State Farm on Dutch Ridge Road is always there to help. Dan Hoffman State Farm brings excellent customer service to both new and existing customers, understanding insurance needs to prepare for the unexpected. Call your Beaver County neighbor Dan at 724-728-2702 or visit HoffmanSFinsurance.com for more information. That's Dan Hoffman State Farm, 3465 Dutch Ridge Road, Beaver. The worst thing that a person can do for their family is die without a will. Please take the time to consult attorney Michael W. Nally of Nally, Elias & Associates for legal counsel and draft a last will and testament. Also, take the time to meet with your financial advisor and insurance agent to make certain you have current beneficiary accounts, annuities, and life insurance policies. Your last will and testament cannot be overstated. Call Nally, Elias & Associates, 150 Pleasant Drive, Aliquippa, and protect your future today.
The warm weather is just around the corner, and now is the perfect time to call Rochester Paving and Seal Coating. Rochester Paving and Seal Coating is a fully insured, fourth-generation, locally owned and operated family business that is your one-stop shop for all of your asphalt needs. Whether it's residential or commercial paving or seal coating, Rochester Paving and Sealing has got you covered. With nearly 40 years of servicing Beaver County and the surrounding area, there is no need to call anyone else but the pros at Rochester Paving and Seal Coating. Call today for your free estimate at 724-775-3021.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
And it is 11:54 in Beaver County, about 6 minutes till the top of the hour. We'll have Town Hall News followed by Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela. As DJ Frye is in today, it is Bus Talk. And you want to take a phone call? We got about 6 or 7 minutes left.
Absolutely. Who do we have?
All right. Good morning. You're on Beaver County Radio.
Hi, my name is Jim Stice, and I listen to you guys all the time, and I really miss Eddie. Hope he's doing well. But I have a bus memory.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Okay, 7th grade, no fishtail said BS, Central Florida, Coquina Junior High, Peter's Chopping Tier and I, dog do trail busted, for whose shoe managed to poo the bus. I pooed most, but Pete seated next to me. Temptation, the devil made me do it. From mine to his poo-stinking feet, bumping shoe bottoms by accident, of course, and Dean Behrman about to scream, wishing who done it, who done what, wanting a confession. Guess what? Class bell rings. Saved by the bell. Dean swept up the dog dirt against the against the law dog dirt, a most memorable dirty business bus recall from a disappeared past. If you're listening or alive, Peter Sharpen here, I apologize.
All right, appreciate you calling. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.
You never know, right?
I guess.
Never know. No, we appreciate all the phone calls, regardless if we know what they're talking about or not.
Yep.
But
you had bus memory, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So we did actually have somebody sent me a text message who's listening and wanted me to share with everybody. Their question was, what type of staff members? So we have van drivers. We have aides and monitors, which basically are individuals who kind of just ride and help, make sure everyone stays in their seat and things like that. Obviously, we have minibus drivers and bus drivers. So we do have a plethora of, opportunities and positions at Frye. I can't really tell our listeners which one is the most favorite, of all, because a lot of times you come and drive school van. You don't need really, other than just our internal training, you don't need a CDL. If you're able to drive your car to work, you're able to drive a school van. But I know sometimes it's difficult to get them from the van to the bus. But sometimes some people just walk through the door and want to drive bus. And one thing that I'm most proud of, and I share this all the time, for 40 years, I should say for 38 years, Frank, we never put an ad out that we are hiring.
That's awesome.
It's always been word by mouth. You hire the Steve Younts, and Steve enjoys it, and next thing you know, all Steve's friends are calling because they want a little bit of what Steve is doing and things like that. But for 38 years, we've never put an ad out. In the last 2 years, we've been nothing but basic subtle little social media posts and whatnot. So we're proud of that. It tells us that our staff really enjoys what they do, and it also tells us that we have the right people.
It's awesome.
But real quick, I want to talk about DJ's commitment to safety and excellence. The state of Pennsylvania does not require training for van drivers. It does require training for school bus drivers. The state of Ohio, however, does require training for all van drivers. I persuaded DJ to adopt that policy, so we do a full training on all of our van drivers. Yes, all you need is a license to drive your own vehicle, but we are going to train you because we do have a standard that we want everybody to work up to.
So is there any other requirements besides a driver's license? I mean, do you get any background checks or anything, clearances?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, all of our staffs are properly vetted. I mean, we do the pre-hire drug screens, a TB test. There's a laundry list of requirements that are given to us through the school districts by Pennsylvania Department of Education, which we run everyone's background check. And we do have high standards. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, we do anywhere between 3 and 10 interviews, and we may only hire one of those 10 individuals, but we are very selective because we're very proud of our reputation and our standard. We really, we just don't want a driver. We want a Frye driver. We want the very best for our communities.
So if someone wants to get on board, how can they do that?
Stop by any one of our 4 terminals or look us up on social media, Frye Transportation, or our www.fryetransportation.com. Or just Google Frye Transportation. There's a phone number there. Give us a call, and we would love to have the opportunity to see if if this is a right fit for you at the right moment.
So you're not going to give us any prediction for tonight, are you?
So I'm going to predict a really good game.
Okay.
Mark Lyons has the Warriors ready.
Yep.
I know Court Rouse has the Bobcats ready. And I look forward to Pat Tarquinio Field being filled with a lot of. It's going to be two great fan bases, and I'm just. I think it's going to come down to the last drive. The team that has the least amount of turnovers and penalties will win the game.
All right.
As a Western Beaver graduate, it's easy for you to be indifferent. I'm from Beaver. I graduated from Beaver.
Go Bobcats,
so
right?
Go Bobcats.
All right. Well, that's how I am with the Lions. So each and every time. All right. Well, I guess we'll be back in next month.
See you next month.
All right. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Appreciate
Frank.
everything you do for us. And coming up next is Town Hall News, followed by Jimmy Fela and Fox Across America. And that's coming to you live from the Frye Transportation Studios here in Beaver County. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented